one of the Cora Ann, who was the journalist for Fox News, came and said, do you run into these kind of people often? I said, often. Every day, every second. I said, there's no way of vetting these people out. And I don't want to say these people, but there's no way of us knowing who need mental health. And I just want to say this, like, when a person goes through a divorce or a major breakup, I suggest they have mental health treatment because they need to know why the breakup. That's a traumatic part of their life, a traumatic chapter that is attempting to close. And sometimes people get stuck and never move on. And that was one of the things that we encourage people here to do, is to go on. One of the things is that when my daughter began to go through her divorce period, she's going through separation divorce, we suggest, says, you need to go see a doctor. And it's not a sign of crazy, it's a sign of, I need to get an understanding. And you need to sit and talk with someone else. You're going to remarry or re-enter into that same situation all over again because there's a pattern that led you to that point. And if you don't get help, you're going to repeat that cycle all over again. And so mental health is very, very, very important. I can't stress it enough. Where a person may have had a loss or is grieving a situation or just a place where you don't understand it, you need to reach on out for mental health. This is a man that had a couple of business. He had employees. He was running a business. He owned homes. So it's not, we can't think of a person when we think about, a person needing mental health. The only thing that gave us a sign is when he said that, when his friend was saying, he's Jesus. And then when he kind of made some outburst out in the services there that night saying, he wanted water. And then one time he tried to rush up on the stage, and our deacons got him, they grabbed him and stopped him from rushing up on the stage. So they talked with him, but he didn't seem to be a violent individual. He seemed like a person that just needed some attention, And evidently the correctional facility, the prison, was not what he needed. He needed something that would help him in the area of mental health. So our prayers are with the family, and our prayers are with the police officers, families that have been affected by this. And we also want you to know that this is a place of ministry. We don't know whose lives we're touching, whether they're in the chat room. We don't know who are at their wits' end. We don't know who's watching us by streaming, or someone may be watching us right now and says, I could be that guy, and perhaps I need to go and get myself some help, especially if you feel boxed in prison, where it feels as though there's no escape. And that's what the prophets are here for, amen, to help you in that, in that season of transition. And when we suggest that you go get help, or in this case, we told him to turn himself in. And I remember him arguing with me saying, I'm not going to do that, Bishop Jordan. And I knew he had been in prison. I thought maybe he had been in prison just a little. I didn't realize that when he was in prison at 16, they had given him 100 years, and I didn't know his whole story. Now, in the chat room, let's see, Denise is saying, am I the only one who cannot hear the master prophet? And let me see, are they able to hear me? And I'm just checking. Maybe the phone line. I hope they can hear me on the phone line. I trust they can hear us on the phone line. But those in the chat room, they will let me know momentarily. Okay.
Master Prophet?
Yes, Prophet Voice.
It was very low.
It's very low. Okay, they're saying it's very low. Okay. How about now? Is it still low now?
It's a little better.
Okay, someone says, no, I had to go to the net to hear better. Okay, Tyrone Bracker says the stage volume is low. Okay.
Probably get dropped your voice a little bit.
So, one of the things that I want to, Kimberly Miller said, volume is low, so I plugged in headphones. Wow. Okay. Wow and wow. Prophetess Barbara Tucker Fugate said, I can hear, but the volume can be a little louder. Okay. Is this the Bishop mic? Because I think last night they had to switch out the mic. This is the one that Errol was having problems with. I believe it was. Mic not in full mode. This is the one that says Bishop Mike. I'll leave it out here on the desk. It is fully powered. Battery power is there. Better now? That's because I'm near screaming. Okay, I'm near screaming. Okay. So our prayers are with him. And this was not, I had to change up my whole day and get down and begin to, and I think they wanted to find out some more about, was this just a violent man? Did we feel as though we were under some kind of threat? And that was not the feeling, There was times when we got Maurice Clemons on the phone here, I may remember, and where we may have talked to him through the live streaming. He was reaching for help. And and I remember talking to him about going to the police officer. I said, you need to turn yourself in. And the only reason I'm saying this publicly is because he said it publicly at the meeting, I am running from the police. Other than that, I want you to know that when you do talk to the Master Prophet, it is confidential. And there is, confidentiality, that we want to honor and respect. So we don't want to ever get you to feel as though that's being betrayed. But he made that public. That's how we began to know about it. And that's why I'm addressing it publicly. So, in the service, he said, I'm running from the police. And that raised a red flag beside him coming to the church that day and saying he was God. I'm Jesus. And, and we addressed that, but then that's where we really realized there was some real instability there. And, and then asking him about that, then he said, what happened? And he began to share what happened in the neighborhood about breaking some windows and the thing. And I said, well, what made you do that? What brought you to that? He says, I don't know, something just came over me. I said, you got to get help. I said, I want you to turn yourself in, you got to get help. And evidently he was saying that because on a news story, I sit there and say, when the woman said she came home that evening and all the windows was broken, I said, wow. And to think that, at some point, he did get into the hands of police custody. I don't know the details because we lost contact with him after that. He was locked up for a while, and for whatever reason, they let him out, and then he did what he did. So I want to look at it like this, because some people would say,